Some people will show up on your doorstep, shake your hand, borrow your tools, and before you know it, they're swimming in your pool, eating your food, and dragging you into court for the privilege. That's how it went down at my house. I didn't set out looking for trouble. I just wanted a quiet life, a place where my family could finally breathe easy. I spent more than a decade building homes for other folks. So when the day came to pour the foundation for my own place out here in coastal Florida, I wasn't about to cut a single corner. Every nail, every tile, every scrap of wood, I sweated over all of it. But the heart of our home, the real sanctuary, was always out back, a backyard wrapped in a 6-foot fence with a pool that sparkled blue in the morning sun, waterfall humming, hot tub bubbling, the kind of place that feels like you finally outran the world for a minute. We moved in just the four of us, me, Carla, and our kids, Ellie and Marcus. The mornings were slow and sweet, espresso out on the terrace, kids racing each other across the grass, barbecues with friends who knew how to leave when the night got late. The fence kept things peaceful, and yeah, the insurance company had plenty to say about that 6-feet-high locked gate, no exceptions. I figured I'd finally built the life I wanted. That illusion lasted about a year. Then the house next door sold, and Brad Hammond moved in, a guy whose voice carried 3 lawns over, who greeted me, his first morning with no shirt. A sweaty grin, 2 cases of beer, and the assumption that we'd be best pals. His girlfriend Tiffany followed, juggling kids and a Bluetooth speaker cranked to 11. The first words out of Brad's mouth as he leaned over my back fence. "This is some setup. You must be doing all right, huh?" He said it like a joke, but his eyes lingered on my pool like a man sizing up something he wanted. Brad had a way of showing up at the mailbox in my driveway, leaning over the fence while I grilled. He'd tell me stories, drop not-so-subtle hints about the sad state of his own yard, and every time the subject would circle back to my pool. "Man, my kids stare at that water like it's Disney World," he'd say. "Wish we could borrow yours sometime." I'd smile, keep it friendly, explain the insurance, the liability, try to set the line. But he just shrugged, laughed, and kept coming back. It wasn't just him. Tiffany would nudge Carla at school pickup or on the sidewalk, giggling, "Your kids are so spoiled." Mine only know the garden hose. She'd float the idea of a play date, a swim day. Carla would politely steer the conversation somewhere else, but I could feel the pressure, like we owed them something for having a nicer yard. I tried to be decent. I really did. But when Brad started knocking at the back gate, not the front door, on a Saturday morning, folder in hand, that's when I realized we'd crossed into strange territory. "Got something for you," he said. Sunglasses, crooked white folder waving. I open it up, typed out, highlighted, signed at the bottom, a neighborhood shared pool agreement. He wanted weekends noon to 6, just to be fair, and promised he wouldn't ask for more, said his kids needed it, said it'd help everyone get along. I handed the folder back, told him flat out, "No, it's private. Insurance won't cover it. Not happening." He bristled, called me selfish, said I was hogging paradise, walked off muttering, "Don't say I didn't ask nice." The next week, he cranked his speakers aimed right at our yard like he was hosting a block party for one. His kids' balls flew over our fence so often I stopped bothering to toss them back. Tiffany got busy on Facebook posting about selfish neighbors, dropping hints for anyone who cared to gossip. Then the city showed up. Someone filed a report on our fence. Then a noise complaint. Inspectors came, measured, shrugged, left. It became clear Brad wasn't just pushing boundaries, he was trying to break them down. I started avoiding him, but Carla just got sharper, putting up no trespassing signs, pricing new locks, keeping receipts. One afternoon, a security alert pinged my phone motion in the backyard. I looked at the camera, and there they were, Brad, Tiffany, their kids in my yard, in my pool, grilling my food, drinking my beer, throwing a damn party in broad daylight. No heads up, no text, no nothing. Just over the fence, like it was their right. When I confronted Brad, he didn't even try to deny it. It was hot. He said no harm, no foul. He called me uptight, said life was too short to get territorial about chlorine. I told him next time I'd press charges. He just smirked. "You threatening me?" I walked away, not trusting myself to say more. A few days later, we're out all day for family stuff, come home to cop cars, ambulance lights, a cluster of neighbors gawking from their lawns. Turns out Brad had thrown another pool party while we were gone. A kid slipped, hit his head, had to be rushed out. Brad told the cops he had my permission, flat out lie. I showed them the camera footage, the signs, every warning I'd given. Still, the kid's parents served me with a lawsuit, 300 grand for unsafe conditions and attractive nuisance. Brad even called my insurance, tried to pin it all on me. That's when I realized it wasn't just about the pool anymore. It was about standing up for my family, my sanity, my right to not have my home treated like a public park. My attorney, Rachel, gathered everything, footage, texts, that dumb pool agreement. She said we had a case, but I felt like a man tied to the tracks watching the train come. Brad, meanwhile, doubled down. He made flyers, started a group chat, painted me as the villain. The man with the tall fence, the one ruining the spirit of the neighborhood. Some neighbors bought it. Marcus got told at school his dad was going to jail. Ellie asked if we'd have to move. Carla just got madder. In court, Rachel rolled out the evidence videos of Brad scaling the fence, copies of messages, proof I'd said no every time. Then she called a surprise witness, a former neighbor from Brad's last place HOA board member, who testified he'd pulled the same stunt before, sued over pool access, lied about permission, got himself booted from the community. The judge saw right through it, threw out the claim, awarded us damages 45 grand, even recommended criminal charges. Brad's swagger dried up. Plea deal, probation, community service, property law class. The fairness flyers disappeared. Tiffany's Facebook went dark, and not long after, the for sale sign popped up in their yard. The day Brad moved out, it rained. No drama, just soggy boxes. Quiet kids, one last glance at the place he tried to take over. The house sat empty for weeks. When it finally sold, the new neighbors introduced themselves with a handwritten note, apologized for the fence, said they'd fix it soon. Carla baked a pie. I added new locks, cameras, and a bigger sign. Private property trespassers will be prosecuted. Underneath, this isn't a community pool. Life settled back into a gentle rhythm. One Saturday, Carla handed me a glass of wine, smiled, said, "You seem different." Calm. No lawsuits, no EDM, no kids chucking rubber chickens. I told her. It feels good. She asked if we should invite the new neighbors over someday. I just grinned. Maybe after a background check. She laughed, but she got it. After everything, you don't forget. What I learned, you can build the perfect home lock, every gate plant, every flower just so, but you can't design peace. You've got to defend it sometimes against the very people who smile at your door. If someone acts entitled to what you built, thinks community means whatever they want it to mean, you've got to stand firm. Otherwise, you're not a neighbor, you're a doormat. So let me ask, where would you draw the line? Does standing your ground make you the villain, or is it just the cost of protecting your own? I want to hear your take. Drop a comment below. Tell me, would you have done anything different, or have you dealt with someone like Brad yourself? What does justice look like when the fence just isn't enough?